Now I am going to remove the actuator. Let's get the actuator removed and replaced. Okay, I'm gonna get a new actuator and replace it. I'm also gonna replace this seal over here and then this one over here. Now replacing this seal is really easy and straightforward. We're gonna undo these two bolts, and then there's another bolt back here I have to undo. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove this tube and replace those seals, and after that we're gonna remove the actuator. To get the actuator removed, we're gonna have to undo 3 bolts back here that hold the actuator on the turbo. Once we undo those bolts, the actuator is gonna come out. There's a bolt back here that I have to remove. So we're gonna undo this little tiny torque bolt, and we're gonna remove this little hold down over here, this little clip that holds the back of the silencer. So here it is. We're gonna get it out of the way. So here comes the third bolt for the silencer. So we're gonna get that out of the way. So at this point, we should be able to remove the silencer. So there was another bolt up here that I removed. So now we can lift it up. Okay. So check this out. This seal over here is what was leaking. Okay, so we're gonna replace this seal. Okay, so this over here is bad. Okay, as you can see, it's flat and worn out. So I'm gonna replace this seal over here, and there's another one in the back over here that I'm gonna remove. Okay, so I'm gonna replace these, and there's another seal over here on the outlet of the turbo. This one. Okay, I'm gonna replace this one also. So we're gonna get all these seals replaced, and then we're gonna remove the actuator. So check out this one. I don't know if you can see, but right here, check out this. You see how worn out this one is? Okay, so this is the one that goes over here. So we're gonna replace this. This is the one that goes on the turbo outlet. Now this turbo has to be replaced. Okay, I'm gonna notify the customer because this turbo is leaking. So we're gonna replace all these seals. Okay, so I'm gonna install them on the silencer. We're gonna replace all these seals, and after that we're gonna replace the actuator. So I'm gonna get new seals on this silencer, and then I'll bring you guys back up. Here are the old seals that I have removed from the vehicle. Our silencer is ready to be installed. Okay, I have installed the new seal and the new one back here. Okay, so this is ready to be installed. Okay, so we're good to go. So now let's take this silencer to the vehicle and install it. So I already installed the green seal that goes on the turbo outlet. So that's on already. So now I'm going to install this tube right there. So now we're going to install this guy now. So just like that. Alright, so I have tightened the silencer bolt. So now we're gonna put the clip that goes to the back of it. So we're good to go. We have replaced the seals for the silencer. So now we're gonna remove the turbo actuator. Disconnect the electrical connector of the actuator first. So now we're going to remove the turbo actuator. The first thing we have to do is we have to remove this little clip over here that connects the actuator lever to the lever on the turbo. So we're going to remove this. So here it is. So this little snap ring. So I'm gonna get it out of the way. Now we're gonna disconnect this linkage to the actuator. Now, once we get this disconnected, we have to push it up and down and make sure that the vanes in the turbo are not stuck. Okay, so we have to push this up and down like this. As you can see, this lever is going up and down easily. So this means the vanes in the turbo are not stuck. Okay, so you have to work this up and down. So that's good. So I'm going to get this undone. So the third one over here, the lever, so to remove the third one, the lever is in the way, so I'm going to have to undo these two bolts so I can remove the whole bracket. So here comes the actuator. So we're gonna get it out of the way. I had to remove the whole bracket because the lever of the actuator is actually sticking in front of this bolt over here. So I'm gonna show it to you. I had to remove the actuator with its bracket because the lever of this actuator is actually sticking right in front of this bolt. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to cut this lever to remove this bolt over here. I'm gonna get this bolt out and then I will show you the new actuator that we're gonna install. So this actuator over here is bad. So let's get this out of the way. Here is our new turbo actuator. Here is the part number. Okay, so this is the old one, and let's get the new one out of the box. So here is our new actuator. Okay, so brand new. This is what we're gonna install. So now let's install this new actuator. Let's double check the turbo lever. So this lever over here is going up and down nicely and smoothly. So this tells me that the vanes in the turbo are not stuck. Okay, so that's good. So now let's install our new actuator. So here comes the actuator. We're gonna install our first bolt. All right, so we got all the bolts for the actuator tightened. Now we're gonna reconnect the lever of the actuator to the lever of the turbo. So this is gonna go right there. So now we're gonna install this clip over here. We're just gonna push it down. All right, so right there, we got this little clip installed. So we're good to go. Now we're gonna connect the electrical connector. So right there, I'm gonna get this old one out of the way. Now I'm gonna connect our scan tool to the vehicle. We're gonna actuate this actuator with the scan tool. We're gonna use our bidirectional test on the scan tool to actuate this actuator. Let's see if the lever on this actuator is gonna move. I'm gonna get the scan tool connected and then I'll bring you guys back up. Now we're gonna actuate this actuator and let's see what happens. So I want you guys to watch the lever on this actuator here when I actuate it with my scan tool. Let's go to 70%. Let's go to 20%. Watch there. Let's go to 0%. Let's go to 20%. See that? So, what do you guys think? It's fixed, right? So we made the right call. This actuator over here is bad, okay? Remember this one, when we were doing the same test, the lever, this lever over here wasn't moving. See that? Okay, so this actuator is bad. So with the actuator now working, the computer will be able to open and close the vanes inside the turbo, which is gonna create more boost to the engine so that the vehicle can have power. Now I'm gonna get the scan tool out of the way. I'm gonna put everything back together, and then we're gonna erase the trouble codes. After erasing the trouble codes, we're gonna take this vehicle for a test drive and see how it drives. So we're gonna reinstall our heat shield. So now the next step is going to be installing the inlet tube. The air inlet tube now needs to be installed. Alright, so we got that clamp tightened. So now we're gonna install the air filter box. Actually, before I install the air filter box, I'm gonna bring up my smoke machine and smoke the induction system once again to see if we no longer have a leak in the induction system. So now we're gonna look around the engine bay and see if we have a leak. So right now we have smoke going down the induction system. As you can see, we no longer have a leak over here. So this is good, okay? So there are no leaks around this area. So that's good. So now let's go over here. Actually, I can see the check ball on the smoke machine is dropping. So that's good. Okay, so we don't have a leak on the induction system. So this is good. I'm gonna get the smoke machine out of the way. Let's remove the smoke machine and then install the air filter box. Now I'm gonna get all these tools out of the way, and then we're gonna take this vehicle for a test drive. Alright, so I'm gonna turn the key on. So let's erase the trouble codes first before we go on a test drive. So now we have a lot of trouble codes in the engine computer, because remember we were doing the test with the other sensors disconnected, like the mass airflow sensor and the crankcase ventilation heater was disconnected. So I'm going to erase all these trouble codes. Okay, so the codes are erased. So now I'm going to start the engine. So as you can hear, the engine is running and the check engine light is now off. So let's take this vehicle for a test drive. Although we still have the exhaust leak, and remember there was a hole in the diesel oxidation catalyst and someone tried welding it, it's still leaking from there. That's not going to prevent us from test driving this vehicle and verifying our repair. So now let's take this vehicle for a drive. Alright guys, we are driving. The vehicle now has a lot of power. I'm not even stepping all the way to the floor, but watch, we're already going over 35 miles an hour. Okay, it's getting dark here, I'm sorry. So I'm going to turn around and drive back to the shop so we can wrap up this video. So this is fixed, guys. This vehicle couldn't even go over 20 miles an hour before, but right now the vehicle drives a lot better. Look at that. So I'm gonna turn around here. We're gonna drive back to the shop. After we get to the shop, we're gonna wrap up this video. So the vehicle is now driving well. We have a lot of power, so we're good to go. I'm gonna drive back to the shop. Once I get to the shop, I'll bring you guys back up so we can wrap up this video. Alright guys, so we are back here at the shop. The vehicle drives well. The van now has a lot of power. As you can see, the check engine light didn't come back on. Okay, so this is fixed. I'm gonna turn off the engine so we can wrap up this video. Alright guys, so I'm gonna leave it right over here. I'm going to give the vehicle back to the customer. I don't do welding, so I'm not gonna be able to fix the exhaust leak. There's a hole in the back of the diesel oxidation catalyst, and someone tried welding it. I'm gonna tell the customer to take it to someone who knows how to weld so they can weld that hole and fix the exhaust leak. But we fixed what we were hired for. We were hired to fix this van because it was losing power. The van now has power. I'm gonna leave it right over here. So I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumb down. But if you do, you gotta tell me why so we can make better videos in the future. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you next time.